Okay. Hey there, class. Welcome to your very first video note session of the entire year. We're going to do a lot of these, so we'll take this one slow and we'll kind of get used to it. This is not going to be a long set of notes. So remember that we are always going to use the Cornell system of notes. So hopefully you guys are taking notes in your spiral notebook. If you don't have a spiral notebook, we do have a set of Cornell Notes templates at the front of the class, but really your spiral notebook is the best place to take these notes. So remember for Cornell Notes that we divide the page. So we always have a top section here, and in that top section we're just going to put the title for now. If you would like to, you can put the date, you can put your name, but if this is all going in your notebook, really a title is all you need. So our title for today, and you guys will see me do this on my program here. I'll pull up this little box that you guys can see, and then down below I'm gonna write, and you'll see it show up. So the title of today's notes is going to be this: Calculating Velocity. Okay, so we saw how that showed up. And now you guys can see that your note page will look the same as this, calculating velocity. Now remember, for Cornell Notes we have two columns. So the right column is going to be a little bit bigger, and the left column is going to be a little bit smaller. And now, as I go along, I might extend that line a little bit. But to start off with, let's leave that line just like that. Now, over here in the right column, you guys don't put a big circle, I'm marking. Over here in the right column, that's where we take our notes, okay? Everything in there is facts. That's the exact stuff that I write, okay? Now over here in the left column, we write questions. So I'm gonna help you with some questions today, but eventually you're gonna write questions on your own. So let's get to the notes first. So when I'm giving notes, you put stuff in the right column on your Cornell note sheet. So first thing on calculating velocity, okay? Let's write this out in the form of a sentence, and I'm going to say, and I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. Okay, so to calculate velocity, and this might not always be sentences, sometimes it'll be bullet points, but for now I'll say to calculate velocity, divide, okay, distance. Wait a minute. I'll make mistakes sometimes, guys. It's okay, bear with me. Distance by time. All right, so everybody, at this point, it's a great place to pause the video, make sure you get all this written down. But to calculate velocity, divide distance by time. I'm also going to write down the equation for that. So that equation is going to look like this. Velocity equals distance divided by time, okay? And we're going to get a little bit more into rearranging that in the future, but for now, let's just use that. And anytime I give you guys an equation, what I really like to do is I like to go down below the equation. So let's get another box here. Come on. Oh, man. There we go. Okay. So what I like to do is just label what everything means. So in this case, wait a minute. There we go. Velocity, or V, stands for velocity. Okay? And one thing we should always see is that velocity is always going to have a unit. Let's not do that yet. Okay, well, for now, we'll do a unit of meters per second. Okay, so if we look at that unit, the cool thing about the unit is you see meters is distance, seconds is time. So distance divided by time gives us our unit. All right, D equals distance. Okay, distance is going to be in a unit of meters. We should be able to recognize distance units. In this class, it's usually going to be meters, but we might do miles sometimes. We might do kilometers. We might do inches. Those are all distances. Or almost we can think of it as lengths. Okay, and T is going to be time. We're going to measure time primarily in seconds. But sometimes we might see time in a different unit. We might see time measured in minutes, or we might see it measured in hours. So this is what we should have written down so far. To calculate velocity, divide distance by time. We did that in the car example, okay? So when I was driving my car, you did the distance that I drove divided by the time that it took me to do it, and that gave me the velocity. Now over here, so far, this is all that we're going to put in the right side. In the left side is where we put our questions. So I'm going to go ahead and write this. Questions, like that, okay? So my questions are, after I'm done with the right side, I go back to the left side and I think about, what did that answer? What does that tell me how to do? And it helps us organize the information that's on the right side. So we don't have to look through all the information. We can just look at the questions to direct us where to go. So if I was going to write a question that is answered by this, okay, it can be really simple. It can be as simple as, actually, let's not do that. I will use this thing here, okay. It can be as simple as, how can I, oh no, wait a minute now. How can I find velocity if I know distance and time? All right. So now when I go back to review my notes, I can just look straight to the questions before looking over to the right side. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. This was our first video. Hopefully it went well. Again, go back, rewatch things, pause it if you need to, and don't hesitate to ask me a question at any point during the video. All right, and that's it.